Hello, Uyen. This is Uyen, my friend. She is from Vietnam, right? We are here in the US. We are going to talk about grieving today. So, uh, what do you think about that? Like, how important is it to grieve?
It's very important to grieve, and it is a process. Like before I heard people talking about it, I didn't think it was such a long process. I thought it was like a normal process, like 1 month, 2 months, and then you deal with it. That's very unrealistic. And it has been a long process, and I'm not over it. I thought I would be healed because I cried so much. I lost my husband 3 years ago to cancer, and it was devastating. And I think people told me that I was numb the first year, but I really didn't resonate with that because I cried so much. I thought I had dealt with a lot of the feelings. And the second and third year of like living by myself with my children on my own, it taught me a lot of things. And I felt like, oh, I'm I didn't feel further along the process in the grief. And I still felt like I was still crying and still grieving. And I'm like, when is this going to be over? And then, like, this is the third year, and I don't feel still completely over in the grief process. Like, even today, my friends were, my friend who was also a close friend of my husband's was talking to me, and he just brought up a lot of great memories I had of this good friend and my husband. And I was just like, all the memories I shared with him. And I don't know, we were both feeling the same way. We were both missing him about the same time. And it's like my second son's birthday's coming up tomorrow. So maybe that's a part of it too, that I'm sharing another celebration without my husband, especially a special one with who is my son that we both shared. And normally he would have been a part of that celebration too. But just remembering that he's not going to be a part of that celebration, maybe that makes me sad in some ways, but that you got to continue, especially if you have children. Um, but it was always like remembering with this friend really just made me happy and sad at the same time because it was all those shared memories that I had with these people, and one of them's not there anymore, and just recognizing that was hard. It made me miss him a little more. And like sometimes I think, oh, okay, I'm getting in a better place. I understand how to do work outside in the yard, men's work. And the inside work is more considered women's work, but I've learned how to do some of the men's work, like the yard work. Um, and those times I miss him too. And then like car maintenance, I prefer like always my husband to deal with that stuff. And now I have to deal with that too. Um, but everybody's different. Like even some people, they hold on to that loved one's belongings for like 20 plus years, but I don't want to be one of those people. I try to get rid of some of his clothes like the first week. And that's still been a process too, because like I hang onto this pair of shoes that he has because they remind me so much of him. Like just going downstairs, we used to live in Singapore, and I don't know, for some reason I can't get rid of that pair of shoes. But other items like t-shirts has been easier to get rid of. So it's funny the things that we hang on to.
What do you think about, like, in these 3 years? There's a grieving process, right? Where you experience anger, where you change your behaviors, where you start thinking differently? What are those processes that you find?
Helpful.
Yeah.
I guess like I had a couple of grief counselors. Like one was the hospice counselor, and I felt like I talked to like about the decline and like what I loved most about Sean. But because he had cancer, I was able to say a lot of things the last 2 years that, like, if it's a car accident and you lose your loved one, then that's different. But I had a lot of peace to let him go because he was in a lot of pain and stuff. And that I feel like that helped me a lot to let go of him. Whereas if it had been like a car accident and right away, then it would have been maybe more devastating in some ways.
That was curvy.
So I got to say a lot of things to my late husband, everything like what I didn't like about his parenting style or little squabbles that I remember that I wanted to bring up so I could have the peace with him. And then, like, I remember one conversation I had just come home from the dentist office and I really wanted him to switch places with me. And I I felt like he could be the better parent and he stay alive, but that's not how it works. For some reason, I'm the one that's allowed to live, and he had to pass away, and we just both ended up crying, you know.
But that
So
gave you peace, like being
that's
able
what
to communicate your
that
feelings.
that just one conversation that helped me to. I mean, there was a lot of emergencies that year because like sometimes he thought he was close to dying. I remember in the hospital, he called the priest to come pray with him. And I'm like, I'm not ready to let you go. Why'd you call the priest? I'm not ready to let you go. And he didn't die that time because I wasn't ready for him to go. But there was
So it's
several.
like, okay, I'm not gonna die now. You're not
No, he
ready.
was ready to go. He was ready at peace to go. He was ready to leave me. He was ready to leave the earth because he really thought he was going to pass away. But God allowed a little bit more time because I wasn't ready, I feel. But then there was these other times that were also close calls, like emergencies, like his carotid artery broke.
Well,
And then he bled out, but luckily we were already at the, fortunately, thank God, we were already at the hospital. So they rushed him over to the emergency room and then they saved him. But then he could have died again because they closed it and they closed that. And then there was a chance that he could have gone in a coma and stuff like that. So then, but he survived. He got a trach and he survived. But I mean, it was traumatic, anyways.
of course.
Um, but the long grieving process allowed me to say goodbye slowly, but also give me peace to say all the things that I need to say so I could let him go.
I want to hold on to that phrase you're mentioning now because I'm thinking you had that experience, and I want to thank you for sharing that with me and with everyone who's going to watch this session. But actually, I'm just thinking of those who are grieving, not necessarily for a situation like yours. You mentioned things like, what if someone that you love dies in a car accident? Or what about grieving because you have to leave someone you love because you don't understand each other? It's not a death, but it's also a grieving process. Like, what advice would you give? What gave you strength? And what did you learn about yourself after allowing yourself to grieve?
I think it's important to go through the whole process. And I think the knee jerk reaction is to find somebody else right away and to try to fill that hole of being with somebody because that might feel easier. But I wouldn't rush into like meeting somebody really quick to fill that emptiness because I think you need that time to process and be alone and really understand the feelings that you had. And that's kind of honor yourself and honor that person that left you, that you lost. So I think that's super important. Um,
Can you share like things that you learn about yourself that without this process you wouldn't have learned?
okay, honestly, I don't think I'm very good by myself, to be honest. I think I'm better with somebody else, but going through this process that I can still make friends on my own and understand. And I think it's good to explore like who you are by yourself too. So like I've taken up new hobbies. I've had a great friend group in a new city that's not my hometown. I think that's good for me too. Um what have I learned? I've learned so much. I think I spirituality is a big thing to me. God is a big thing to me. So I really, some people turn away from God, but I feel like I've turned closer to God. I felt like I was a more, um, I guess I'm finding myself and how I am. Like before I felt like I was a prayerful person already, but like caring for someone in death and praying those 2 years, I became more prayerful. And surprisingly, I'm even more prayerful after that. So I kind of feel like I understand what unceasing prayer is. That's what I've discovered about myself. One of the things, but there's people there to support you. I mean, community is important. I found community through church, and work is very demanding, as you know.
Yeah.
So I think that and being present for my children. That year I was with Sean Polly. I let my older son neglected. I don't want to say neglected, but I didn't check in on him when he was away from us. He was in a different state. So now I try to be present and like really appreciate those people that are close to you. Like that's one thing. Like some people say, I'm going to travel in 2 years and 3 years or 5 years. I'm like, you should take the trip now.
No,
you
of
know?
course, later never comes, right? That we
Yeah,
kept saying that today,
even in
insistently with
work, even in work.
everywhere.
But like, take the big trip that you've been wanting to always take. Try that new hobby. Do something out of your comfort zone, and like I try to put myself in what I feel are risk taking
Position.
positions, because like I try to push myself to do things that are uncomfortable. And I think when you do that, you learn about yourself too. Like one of the things that I never would have done was go to a bar by myself. Like, but I did that and I stayed like 2 or 3 hours. So I was really, it's like a little thing like that. But to me, it's very uncomfortable. I mean, now I try to like, not always, depending on the situation, I'll talk to strangers more. That's supposed to make you happier. I've tried new skills like gardening and also knitting. So I feel like it's good to try new things in the grief process, because maybe you wouldn't ever because like you just get locked in to doing one way and just your routine. But since your routine is so messed up, then try new things. And also like holidays, we were probably a traditional family, and like for Thanksgiving we cooked turkey and stuff like that. But like now, because the holidays still mean something, I want to celebrate it, but maybe I don't use the same foods. Or if the kids want something non-traditional, I'm open to doing those things during the
Right.
holiday to make new worth of what the holiday means to us.
It's like uh, giving a new meaning to everything, because it's
Yes.
like not trying to forget someone who was relevant in your life, and that applies to your situation and everyone else's situation, in which sometimes we try to remove that
that completely, and that doesn't work, right?
and that doesn't work. It's like you have to integrate it in a way that it helps you move on and give a different meaning to everything you do, so you do things differently. um, Something you said brought me to think that some people just hide their feelings and their grieving process into other things, like working a lot more, or like why do you think that's unhealthy? Like,
Well, I feel like you always need balance, right? And I feel like those unsaid feelings, they'll resurface in a different way. And to really take care of yourself, you need to allow the time to process. And like, if you're one of those people, like, I should be already um, in the resolution process of that, then I think that's like your litmus test that you just need to check in on yourself. Like, am I really okay? Then why am I saying that to myself? And like, everybody has a different time frame on grief. Like, I don't know anybody that says, oh yeah, 2 weeks and that's it. That feels like they didn't give enough time to the whole process, because it's like, I feel like other problems, it's like a roller coaster ride, and sometimes it surfaces when you least expect it. Like, I still break up into tears sometimes, and even if it's a happy moment that I shared with my husband, and it that resurfaces. But no, I feel like to really go through and really give time to what you're feeling, I think that's super important. And I feel like in anything, if you didn't deal with it and you try to push yourself in the work, it will resurface again, and not unhealthy things. Like, probably it's something related to your health. Like, you're putting too much stress on yourself to cope with it. And probably it's in your stomach, or it'll resurface on a
somehow in your body.
yes,
Yeah,
I feel that.
like if you don't face it somehow, then it's absorbed by your body. You know,
Yes,
there's a
exactly.
saying I always use with my daughter, when I try to explain the importance of communicating things and giving place to your feelings. I always say we have the head and our hearts, or the spirit, let's say, and the mouth is just in between. And there's a reason why. It's like whatever comes out of your mouth, then you're giving it a place, and then you're able to process it. And if you process it, your body doesn't swallow it.
Yes.
Like whatever is in your head, if it goes out, it doesn't go to your body. Whatever is in your heart, it goes out from your mouth. Then it doesn't occupy your mind, and then eventually your body. And that's practically what you're saying, right?
And especially, it can resurface in like maybe sleep. Say you're like pushing it and working too hard, and then you lack sleep, or maybe you sleep too much, and then it will resurface in your body because you're putting too much stress on yourself. The cortisol level will be too high.
And that's like what you said at the beginning, like replacing someone with someone else so quickly is like it doesn't let you process. So you will relive every situation once and again until you actually deal with it.
Yes, yes. And honestly, that's not fair to that other person that you tried to
Absolutely.
fill that hole with, because they will not feel all of your love too, right?
Absolutely.
They won't feel all your love.
No, because you're stick to replacing someone else. So you're not seeing the other person, you're seeing the previous person reflecting in the new one. So that's
Yes.
good. If you could give advice to someone starting this process, what would be the advice you would give?
It's hard, but don't give up, and be easy on yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to take care of yourself, because no one else is going to take care of you. Not really, not 100%. That self-care is so important, and sometimes, especially women, we're told to neglect ourselves for the sake of the bigger picture. Find community. I think that's super important. You know, you need that friend support group or family support group, or if you have both, that's amazing. I think I know a lot of people that try to um turn to alcohol or turn to other outlets, but they should have just got help, maybe go to a counselor and get that professional help first and talk it out. And if that doesn't work, so that person can give you strategies to help you see it in a different way. You know, like you're feeling all these things, but that counselor, that trained counselor, can sometimes lend very helpful things to you that maybe you didn't see or have oversight to. They can really help you focus and see it in a different way, or help you have strategies to process.
And actually giving yourself time to feel whatever you're feeling. Like crying is fine, smiling is fine, talking about it is fine. Like once you give yourself, like you allow yourself to do that, then you find yourself, even if without a counselor, sometimes you can find yourself like process in many different ways, like what you're saying, finding new hobbies or doing different things, right? And
Yes.
so that's why it's so important to give yourself time.
And get out and do different things. Don't stay at home and under the covers, you know? That's probably,
Try yourself out.
yeah. Find out the new attributes in yourself that you didn't know existed. Explore. Trying new hobbies. Go skiing, snow skiing if you never water skiing. Just bungee jump. You know, stuff like that that maybe like
Reminds you that you're alive.
yeah, because you still have life, right? And we should be thankful for each day.
And actually, I would say this advice applies also to everybody. It's like sometimes it's like life gets these moves, like puts us in front of having to grieve to realize that we actually need to move forward and not stay in one position forever, right?
Or even backwards, right?
Or even backwards. So it is important to also remember that we don't need a situation like this to remember that we have that every emotion has a place and we have to allow us to experience that emotion. Okay, thank you so much, Ewan. Is there anything else that you would think that we are missing to say and would be important to consider?
I mean, I feel like the spiritual side, explore that too. Community and church. Even if like growing up you didn't have like a necessarily good experience. I mean, just try. Just going in that quiet place and praying sometimes is helpful too, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ewan. It was a pleasure having you. It's a pleasure to share this with you guys. So let's see each other eventually again.
Yeah, I'm coming to Colombia.
Oh, that's